Coming up in this dashcam compilation, a roundup of some of the dodgiest driving spotted by our team of former emergency services personnel, all caught on camera and reported through Operation Snap. Stick around.
Before we get into it, make sure you're signed up to our free newsletter. It's written by our team of former emergency services and armed forces personnel, covering what's really happening on the front line of the emergency services and criminal justice system. To sign up, just hit the link pinned in the comments or check the video description. That'll take you to our page, where you'll find all our key content, including playlists, top stories, and a direct way to get in touch with the team.
The lights at this pedestrian crossing have turned red for traffic. But as you are about to see, one motorist thought that the red lights did not apply to him. As people cross, one man is forced to run out of the way in order to avoid being hit by the dodgy driver. The numpty behind the wheel of the car would have got away with this ridiculous move, had it not have been for the cam car, who sent the footage off to the police via Vision Zero. This is just one reason why the 4 million dashcams now on UK roads are slowly winning the fight against dodgy drivers. You might think that this dodgy driver just got off with a fine and some points on their license. However, the driving was so bad that they were charged with dangerous driving and, after being found guilty, were sent to prison for 8 months and disqualified from driving for 30 months. A decent sentence at long last. Keep your eye on this car. What they do next ends up costing them £722 and 5 points on their driving license after this dodgy encounter with a cyclist. Instead of slowing down or giving way, the driver suddenly swerves across, cutting straight in front of the cyclist. No warning, no space, just straight across their path. The cyclist sent the footage off to safer Essex roads, and after it was reviewed, the driver was hit with a £722 fine and had their driving licence endorsed with 5 penalty points. An expensive mistake to make, not to mention the fact that the driver will have to disclose this motoring offence to insurers for at least the next 3 years. This BMW driver clearly woke up and chose road rage. Watch as they swerve in front of a fully loaded HGV and then slam on the brakes, because apparently being tailgated by 40 tons of metal is exactly what they wanted. The HGV tries to escape the nonsense, moving into lane 2 to get around, but the BMW isn't done. Straight over into lane 2 as well, blocking it again, then back into lane 1. And yep, more brake testing. Because nothing says good decision making like messing about in front of something that takes the length of a football pitch to stop. Luckily, it was all caught on dashcam and sent in via Operation Snap. The result? The BMW driver got 8 points and a big fine. All that drama, just to get nowhere, and pay for it too.
Some drivers seem to think double white lines are just a suggestion. Watch this black Seat come right up behind the van, then swing across the line straight into oncoming traffic just to get past. They pull back in like nothing happened, but it could have ended very differently. If you're wondering what happened next, the driver ended up with a £370 fine and lost their licence for 8 months. And all that just to save a couple of seconds on a journey. Next up, proof that we do actually get blue skies in the UK now and again. But more importantly, it's a reminder that if you're joining from a slip road, you give way to the traffic already on the carriageway, not the other way round. This one happened near Buckfastleigh, and again it was down to careless and inconsiderate driving. Rather than getting a fine or points, the driver was sent on a training course. The driver of this classic VW has just shown how easy it is to get 7 points on your driving licence, which in most cases is only 5 points away from a compulsory disqualification. The person behind the wheel of the dodgy overtake was also hit with a £200 fine. Something to keep in mind the next time you are tempted to carry out a dodgy overtake. Talking of dodgy overtakes, check out the complete lunacy on display here. Why the heck would you pick a blind bend on double white lines to overtake a vehicle? How do people like this even pass their driving tests, assuming that they have a driving licence in the first place? This dodgy driver was convicted of careless and inconsiderate driving and had their driving licence endorsed with 5 points, as well as being hit with a fine of £200. But perhaps the award for the dodgiest overtake has to go to the driver of this BMW for this shocking display of truly incompetent driving. Considering just how bad the driving was, the BMW driver got off relatively lightly with a fine of £177 and 4 points on their licence. But which driver do you think was the dodgiest and why? Share your thoughts in the comments below. In this clip, an angry and impatient BMW driver is glued to the back of another car, clearly frustrated that traffic isn't moving as fast as he'd like. Instead of waiting, he decides to take matters into his own hands. The forward-facing dash cam on the cam car captures the moment when the blue BMW undertakes a line of traffic. If you follow us on social media, then you will know exactly what happens next. The BMW driver probably thought that they'd got away with driving like this, but the footage was sent off to the police, who then decided to prosecute the BMW driver. It was a costly mistake to make, as the driver of the BMW was fined £1,320 and was given 7 points on their driving licence. On top of the fine and points, the BMW driver now faces higher insurance costs. With 7 points on their licence, their premium will go up by at least 30%, and it'll stay that way for the next 5 years. The driver of this electric car has been brake testing the HGV behind and is now beckoning them up the slip road, maybe for a little chat. But the HGV driver is having none of it and just carries on, all caught on dashcam. The HGV driver submitted the dashcam footage to the police via Operation Snap. After reviewing it, they issued a notice of intended prosecution to the vehicle's registered keeper, who is legally required to disclose the driver's identity at the time of the incident. Brake testing a HGV on a busy road like this isn't just reckless, it's downright stupid. The driver of the electric car clearly has some anger management issues. It turned out to be a very expensive loss of control for the driver, because he was fined £1,215 and was given 6 penalty points on their driving licence. The driver of this BMW is dangerously brake testing a coach carrying 80 children after a road rage incident in Essex. Despite the idiotic driving on display here, courtesy of the BMW driver, thankfully none of the passengers on the coach were injured, and Essex Roads Policing Unit officers catch the BMW driver as he continues to put the safety of the coach passengers at risk. The incident started when the BMW driver clipped a curb near Chelmsford when he tried to overtake the coach. He then started tailgating and driving aggressively, forcing the coach driver to take evasive action. Here we can see the moment when the coach driver tried to lose the BMW driver by exiting the dual carriageway. However, the BMW driver had other ideas. He came to a stop on the busy road and reversed back along the dual carriageway in order to continue his relentless pursuit of the coach full of kids. When he reached the coach at the roundabout, he got out and threatened the coach driver. At this point, the coach driver did the right thing and called 999. The BMW driver once again got in front of the coach, but this time pulled over on the carriageway, reversed into oncoming traffic and waited for the coach. However, the cavalry arrived just at the right moment and arrested the driver of the BMW. He was sentenced to 6 months in prison, suspended for a year, and was ordered to complete 150 hours of community service, as well as being banned from driving for 18 months.